Bill Gates is widely regarded as a transformative figure in modern history, celebrated for co-founding Microsoft and driving the personal computing revolution that reshaped how the world works, communicates, and innovates. His visionary leadership turned Microsoft into a global tech giant, making personal computers accessible to the masses and profoundly impacting the software industry. However, his journey to success has been the subject of both admiration and criticism, reflecting the complexities of his legacy. While lauded for his business acumen and role in technological innovation, Gates has also faced scrutiny for Microsoft's aggressive business practices, including monopolistic tactics that stifled competition and led to legal challenges. Additionally, his immense wealth, philanthropic ventures, and influence in shaping global agendas have sparked debates about the ethical implications of concentrated power. Gates's story exemplifies the dualities of innovation and controversy, marking him as both a pioneering entrepreneur and a figure of complex public perception. The rise to power. Founding Microsoft. Together with Paul Allen, Bill Gates established Microsoft in 1975, marking the beginning of a journey that would ultimately lead to a revolution in the field of information technology. The development of MS-DOS, an operating system that became the foundation of Microsoft's cooperation with IBM in the early 1980s, was the moment that the breakthrough occurred. MS-DOS was pre-installed on IBM's personal computers as a result of this collaboration, which ensured that Microsoft's software was accessible to a large number of people at a time when personal computers were becoming more commonplace. Microsoft was able to establish itself as the dominant player in the personal computer market as a result of the success of this cooperation, which laid the groundwork for the company's later expansion and the widespread penetration of Windows. During this time period, the strategic vision and business acumen of Bill Gates were essential components in the process of Microsoft's transformation into a global technology giant. Aggressive business practices. The climb to dominance that Bill Gates experienced in the technology industry was defined by business methods that were strategic, but frequently contentious. These practices helped to solidify Microsoft's position as the industry leader in personal computing. The United States government filed a historic antitrust action against Microsoft in the late 1990s, which was a defining milestone in the company's history involving antitrust litigation. The corporation was accused of engaging in monopolistic methods, specifically the practice of bundling its Internet Explorer browser with its Windows operating system. As a result of this action, which was perceived as an attempt to eliminate competition from competing browsers such as Netscape, allegations were made that Microsoft was unfairly leveraging its market dominance to suppress innovation and consumer choice. Opponent strategies. The leadership of Gates was characterized by aggressive strategies to outmaneuver competitors. This was evident in the browser wars with Netscape, in which Microsoft utilized strategic pricing and distribution in order to reduce the market share of its opponent. Despite the fact that these techniques were extremely successful in cementing Microsoft's dominance, they also fed complaints that the company emphasized market hegemony above competing fairly with other businesses. Strategic licensing agreements. Microsoft's original licensing strategy was a significant contributor to the company's success during Bill Gates' tenure as CEO. Instead of selling its operating system entirely, Microsoft licensed MS-DOS and then Windows to PC manufacturers like IBM and Dell. This allowed Microsoft to maximize its profits. Microsoft's software was able to be pre-installed on a wide variety of personal computers thanks to this method, which ensured that it became the default operating system for millions of customers. Microsoft attained a level of market penetration that was previously unattainable by aligning itself with the fast-expanding personal computer sector. Through the implementation of this strategy, not only was a consistent and scalable revenue stream developed, but Windows was also established as the industry standard, further strengthening Microsoft's position as the dominant player in the software business. The licensing arrangement was a prime example of Gates's strategic insight, as it prioritized accessibility and market presence over profits in the short term. The controversies and dark secrets. His meteoric rise to fame has not been without its share of controversy, with critics frequently examining his business strategies, ethical standards, and the procedures that led to the accumulation of his wealth. Since the beginning of his career, Bill Gates has been a major presence in the music industry. Monopolistic behavior. The leadership that Gates exercised at Microsoft was characterized by aggressive strategies that many people believe hindered competition. There are many people who believe this to be the case. One of these strategies was to take use of the company's dominant position in operating systems in order to drive out competitors such as Netscape in the browser wars of the industry. As a consequence of these statutes, numerous antitrust lawsuits were launched, one of which was a landmark case that took place in the late 1990s. It was alleged that Microsoft engaged in monopolistic actions that hampered innovation and limited the options available to customers in this particular instance. Concerns regarding ethics. It has also come to light that allegations have been made regarding the early working conditions of the company. These complaints include claims that staff were subjected to high-pressure situations and that they were treated in a questionable manner. In addition, there have been complaints lodged regarding the manner in which the corporation deals with intellectual property, which a number of people have seen as being too dominating. The accumulation of money. Bill Gates' vast fortune, which drove him to the position of richest person in the world by the year 1995, was largely the consequence of strategic licensing deals, which, according to critics, left little potential for fair competition. This was the primary reason for his meteoric rise to the top of the wealth accumulation charts. The acquisition of a dominant market position was made possible by Gates's decision to place a high premium on the widespread adoption of Microsoft products through agreements with manufacturers of personal computers. Consequently, this gave rise to inquiries concerning the equilibrium that his company approach achieves between the pursuit of innovation and the pursuit of exploitation. Philanthropy and redemption. Infectious diseases, poverty, and education reform are just some of the major issues that have been addressed by the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, which has been instrumental in addressing these issues. The foundation has contributed billions of dollars to a variety of endeavors, including the creation of vaccinations, the research and improvement of agricultural practices, and educational training programs. Although these activities have received widespread attention, there are many people who contend that Gates' humanitarian actions may serve numerous objectives in addition to being motivated by charity. This is despite the fact that these endeavors have generated universal acknowledgement. They say that the scale and scope of his foundation provide him the potential to establish global health and education agendas in ways that are coherent with his own personal vision, sometimes placing local interests and democratic decision-making in the background. This is because his foundation is so large and so broad. Skeptics also point out that his philanthropy indirectly boosts his public image and legacy, which has the ability to disguise prior concerns that were related with monopolistic practices that occurred during his time at Microsoft. This is something that will be taken into consideration by those who are skeptical. For some individuals, the fact that Gates is focusing his efforts on systemic issues by utilizing private financing raises the question of whether or not this concentrated influence constitutes a new form of soft power that blurs the barrier between personal interests and the public good. This is a viewpoint that is held by certain individuals. Conclusion. Bill Gates's rise to the pinnacle of wealth and influence is a story that continues to inspire and provoke debate. As a visionary technologist, he played a pivotal role in revolutionizing the personal computing industry, making technology more accessible and shaping the digital era. His innovations through Microsoft laid the foundation for modern software ecosystems and transformed global productivity. However, His ascent also underscores the complexities of corporate power, with Gates often criticized for monopolistic practices and aggressive strategies that suppressed competition. These controversies, coupled with his immense wealth, have fueled discussions about the ethical dimensions of his success. Gates's philanthropic efforts, through the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, have further deepened his legacy, reflecting both altruism and questions about the influence of private wealth in public policy. To fully understand his impact, one must navigate this dual legacy, appreciating his technological contributions while critically examining the methods and implications of his rise to prominence.